Hey!
Shut it down!
Get the hell out of the way! People are trying to move all over me. Get the hell out of the way! Come!
Do not put your hands on me.
Come!
Do not.
Go!
That's it!
Stay the hell out of the street!
Hey!
Yep. I have them.
Bye, sir! Bye,
I have
sir!
them.
I'll kick
Bye,
your ass.
sir!
So does that make sense?
I understand that.
Okay.
But we're talking about the whole process, not just the police department.
Okay, but the police.
The whole criminal process. I mean, that's one of the reasons why the community had to make its own form. I mean, this would have been a lot easier if we had a civilian oversight commission where
Okay,
people
ma'am. Okay, I'm a sergeant in this department. That's a question that is not at my level. Civilian oversight committee. What I do is I'm a detective sergeant.
Certain people don't feel comfortable using those methods of reaching out or communicating with the police, but the fact is that they don't.
Okay.
And that's, maybe we need more understanding about why that is that there are community members that feel that way, but I think it's important to hear their voices and understand why they feel that way.
And I wish I could give you the answer of why people feel uncomfortable. I wish I knew. Because I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. I hope you understand that.
Sure.
I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. And their reasons are their own. They're not even for them to share with me if they don't want to, right? If they're uncomfortable, I understand that they're uncomfortable. I wish there's something that we can do to mitigate that. And we work on that every day that we come to work. We work on mitigating the gap between what people perceive is us here and them over there. Because I wish that didn't happen. We are all one community. I live here too.
We're here today, we were here before, because obviously the process and the policy procedure is not working for enough people.
Okay.
And it's important. And so that's why we need to look into ways that will work for everybody.
And I understand that. However, that is at a policy level.
I understand.
I'm at a crime level. So I'm trying to take the crime report, and if you have that discussion, that unfortunately needs to be had with other people in our department. I'm here to take the crime, investigate the crime, and then see what we can do to move forward from that.
We've said a couple of times, I think, that community members, why we're doing this today and why we've done this in the past is because people don't want to come into the police department. They don't want to encounter police officers because they feel like they're not heard, and sometimes those are the actual perpetrators of some of the violence that they feel. So we need other solutions. And that's when she said, well, that's not her job, and that's a policy change, and we should talk to other people higher up for that.
What are the other people higher up?
You spoke of a community task force?
No, civilian oversight.
Civilian oversight.
That would be outside of the police department,
Right.
outside of police officers. Yeah, when I talked about going into the police department, I didn't mean that it was also good to have police officers come to you. It's just the whole encounter of having police to answer to for crimes, maybe in some cases that involve them. I mean, that's chilling and oppressive.
And have you seen examples of this in other cities?
Actually, I've talked to other civil rights attorneys about this a few months back that are in the movement and in Black Lives Matter, and they were not aware of this, but they thought it makes sense to take it into our own hands. I mean, if we can't trust them to take crime reports, why wouldn't we do it ourselves?
So
it is a new solution, but it's a solution that makes sense.
Right.
So how would we organize something like that?
We have forms that we're going to make it accessible to anybody that needs them, and then we're going to help the community report the crimes and complaints against police officers. And we're going to have to, unfortunately, do this every time we need to go in there until they change. They change their policy, as they say.
I think that the Racial Justice Coalition is a good place to begin for people to come together and figure out how are we going to develop our, civilian oversight committee over the police department of Bellingham, right? So I think that's to me that's the space for community to come together and for all of us to develop that solution, right? Is like, what's it going to look like? What do we do? How long is it going to take? All of that. It's a process that we have to go through together because they're not allowing us into a process that is just